Now then, 8 minutes past 8. Many people are using the new year to look for a new job. You know, it's the same thing, isn't it? New year, new start, new me. Our area isn't known for plentiful job opportunities, but is that changing? Well, jobs may be going from councils and the steel industry, but elsewhere hundreds of new posts are being created. An example of this is when Sirius polyhalite mine opens on the North Yorkshire moors. There's also Hitachi's train plant at Newton Aycliffe, which is looking to employ 900 people, and MGT Power's Teesside Renewable Energy Plant will also employ 100 and require 600 more construction jobs. And we've also got this new super garrison which will relocate or create 2,000 jobs at Catterick.
So is it proof that things are turning around in our area? Let's take you live first of all to Paul Booth, who's chair of Tees Valley Local Enterprise Partnership. Morning, Pooh. Morning, Paul. Mr. Poole, I was going to say.
Hartley Poole.
After you, that's what it is. And
Good morning.
Also at the Wilton headquarters is Graham Hillier. He's on the line as well. Graham, morning to you.
Yeah, morning, Neil.
Hiya. We're going to start with Paul first of all. How are job prospects, certainly in your eyes, in the new Tees Valley Combined Authority, looking into the mid to long-term future?
Yeah, I think looking bright. It's right. We've had some big economic shocks over the last year or so, which have not been good. You've already mentioned Sirius and MGT, and there's another company called Peak Resources going to build a rare earth refinery at Wilton. Importantly, a lot of support and service jobs, will also be created by the virtue of these big companies coming. So I think there are reasons to be optimistic. I think also the innovation agenda in the Tees Valley around carbon particularly and sort of housing also brings different kinds of jobs. So it's not just about big manufacturing.
So Paul, where are the most promising sectors for employment then? What we're talking, you hinted at a few areas there. Are we talking manufacturing, leisure, or?
Well, I think it's not been on our radar screen, as well as it should have been. But the whole area of culture and tourism and leisure, I think we need to. The Combined Authority recognises needs to improve on.
We need to sell the area more than to other people.
We do need to big up this area far better than we have done in the last 2-3 decades. So that there's opportunities there as well.
It was back in September. Your new authority got it was £15 million, wasn't it, of government money, all part of this new devolution deal. What's that going to do for job creation?
Well, I think, first of all, actually, when we get to May and we elect a mayor, there'll be new powers and new funding, and hopefully it will make it easier to make decisions.
So those powers are not in place until that mayor is in position?
I think that some of them are, but I think when the mayor is there, then I think we'll fully see exactly what we're capable of doing. But I think the funding will be for a whole variety of reasons, to help small businesses start up, getting sort of training schemes up and running, lots of going through the planning processes, lots of issues there that we can address with this funding that we've got.
The North East Chamber of Commerce also brought out its manifesto for a brighter business future, if you wish. Stability, continued good relations with trading partners, easy recruitment for the best talent in the world, things like better infrastructure, particularly on public transport. And the Chamber's pleased with the devolution deal for the Tees Valley. Do you agree with them wholeheartedly? Are you with them 100% on that?
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much aligned. We do have a transport and infrastructure programme which is ambitious, which again will create more jobs.
Is it important to have that joined-up thinking?
It absolutely is important to have joined-up thinking. I think together we'll move mountains. Apart we'll solve nothing.
We'll come back to you in a moment, but to our other guests now, yeah?
Yeah, let's check in with Graham Hillier, who is a strategy... Sorry, I can't even put me words right this morning. Graham Hillier is a strategy director for CPI, which is the Centre for Process Innovation at Wilton at Redcar. Good morning, Graham.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. I get there in the end.
Monday morning, we're all allowed one, aren't we?
While I'm messing up like that, just explain to everybody, what is CPI? What do you actually do?
Well, we're what's called an innovation centre, and there's only about 10 similar organisations in the whole of the UK, and we're the only one that's focused on the process and the chemical industry. We've been in existence for about 12 years. We were originally set up by One North East when they were the RDA for the region, and we've grown roughly 20% a year since then. So we employ about 300 people, and we have about £100 million of assets on the ground, and we've got plans to invest another £20 million in the next 2 to 3 years in kit. So what we do is we have people, tend to be pretty bright, to be honest. About at least a third of our people have got more than one degree, and they help companies to get their ideas into the market. So take their idea from their garage or their university or wherever it is, turn it into a company and get it into the market so that they can sell. We typically are working with 40 or 50 companies. About half of those will be small and medium-sized enterprises, and that's our fundamental role. It's to help them get themselves into the market and create jobs and invest in the region.
It sounds fantastic, Graham. I mean, we had Durham University on our Drive Time show last Thursday talking about a new partnership with them to improve the local economy. How excited are you about all that?
Yeah, well, we're very excited because the UK is fantastically good at inventing things, but it isn't very good at turning them into businesses, and that's what we're all about. So we only succeed if the people that we work with succeed. A really good example is a company called Pragmatic Printing, who've been working with us for 3 or 4 years now. They were a spin-out from Manchester University. They have a headquarters in Cambridge. But they've got 20 or 30 people up in the region because our printable electronics, and that's being able to print circuits onto bits of plastic so you can make, well, I suppose ultimately you'd be able to make bendy fold-up tellies. But what these guys do is they print intelligence into devices and things. So these intelligent fridges and all of that kind of stuff use this kind of thing. And they've chosen to invest in a manufacturing plant in the northeast, and they're just about to create 50 jobs up
Wow.
here because of us, basically. And they've even gone public in saying that by working with us, they've saved themselves about 18 months to 2 years into their development time, and they could easily have saved themselves about £10 million in their development cost as well. So we've helped them get to market more quickly, and we've helped them reduce the cost of doing it.
So you would agree then our region looks like it's on the up when it comes to job opportunities for 2017?
I think we are. I mean, we've got enterprise zones, we've got good universities, like Paul says, we've got good funding across the board. But I think in having an organisation like us, we have capability that's unique in the world for certain types of things. So people come to us as a consequence. So we've got American companies working with us, we've got European companies working with us, and that means that there's the opportunity to attract all of those companies into our region.
Can you put a target, like a long-term forecast on job targets? How many would you like to see created in this year?
Ooh. In this year?
Yeah.
It'll be hundreds
First of all,
rather
this year.
than hundreds rather than thousands, but ultimately thousands, because
Thousands.
there's no reason why we can't attract high-value jobs into the region. I mean, we have 20, 30, 40 applicants for every job that we advertise. We're still expanding, and we're advertising at the moment for highly skilled scientists, and they tend to move into this region from outside of the region.
So we don't necessarily have the skills right here then if they're moving in from outside the region?
No, but we can develop them, because I think one of the other things is that as a company we've had about 300 people move through CPI and out into the market, and the majority of those stay in the region. We do stuff with students to help give them the opportunity to stay in the region as well. But bringing people into the region increases our skill base anyway and makes us more attractive overall.
Graham Hillier there, thank you for your time this morning, much appreciated, from the Centre for Process and Innovation at Wilton in Redcar.
Paul, you were listening to Graham there. Do you think he's been realistic, first of all, with the numbers and the time frame?
Yeah, I think it's not going to. We've already mentioned the big projects, and so those jobs will come in the next few years. The Tees Valley Economic Plan targets 25,000 jobs over the next 10 years. Hopefully we'll do better than that.
What do you base those numbers on?
Well, that's based on projects that we already know about. There are projects that we haven't talked about this morning that we think are in the pipeline.
Do you want to talk about any of them now?
No.
Right. We had to ask the question.
We just because we can't. We can't get. There are some good projects around which potentially will come to the fore.
But you know there are people listening this morning who want to know, they're waking up this morning, can we really benefit as individuals from these projects?
Yeah, well, there are real projects which we've talked about. There are other projects which we're trying to land, and that they will hopefully come, which gives some credence to the 25,000. Bearing in mind, I also talked about the housing and all of the other areas as well as manufacturing. So that's probably worth between 2.5 and 3 billion to the Tees Valley economy over the next 10 years. Can I just make one other very quick point?
Briefly, yeah.
I think it's very important we address the skills agenda, just building on Graham's point.
You're working with the colleges on that?
Absolutely, the colleges, the university, the schools, to make sure that we've got people in the Tees Valley with the right skills to fill these jobs when they're created.
Thank you very much indeed. Finish on a positive note, we like that. To Paul Booth.